Two things to note before we start. One, yes, I have glasses. I have worn contacts the entire time I've been posting on the internet. Fun facts. If you want a video about that, let me know in the comments. And two, I am filming this on February 16th, right after I came back from grabbing some stuff at the dollar store. So if I look red, it's because of the cold. We are in the middle of a massive snowstorm, so Canada! Hey, what's up you guys? It's Carson and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in today's video we're going to be talking about some 2025 pop music predictions that I personally have. We're about 6 weeks into 2025 and I felt like now would be the best time for me to make some predictions for the rest of the year. So I'm going to break this down into 3 sections. Artists that I think will be releasing music, artists that I think will not be releasing music, and then random predictions that I just thought of last minute. If you like content like this and you want to see more, of course you can like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Alright, with that said, let's jump on into it. So, the artists that I think will be having releases this year, let's start with number 1, Taylor Swift. She's constantly putting out music, so it's not going to be too much of a surprise that she's on my prediction list. But in particular, my prediction is that due to everything that's been going on with her, Travis Kelce, Kanye West, I think given all of that, it would be the smartest and kind of the most genius thing for her to do to release this in the spring. Why the spring? Why not now? Hear me out. When Reputation initially came out, there was a lot happening for her, and in particular, there was a lot of negative press around her. And we haven't seen that negative press in a while until very recently with the Super Bowl. I think with everything going on there, if she were to release this album in the spring, it would be a perfect time, mainly because springtime is a time of fertility, rebirth, growth. So it would make sense that the album that's literally represented by a snake shedding their skin would be released in the spring. Obviously, we know that Tate McRae is releasing an album in like a week from when I'm filming this video, and I'm kind of sad about this prediction because I've been low-key obsessed with her recent work. I don't think this album's going to perform as well as her most recent one. I do think the lyrics are going to be slightly better this time. The thing that I loved about Tate's previous album was that she really just had a blasé attitude about it all, which is ironic because it's titled Think Later. And the lyrics did not really hit in a way that I would usually gravitate towards, but especially last year, that's kind of what I needed in my music. I needed something a little more carefree to listen to. So I think that aspect will still play into Tate's album, but unless the song with her boyfriend, Kid Laroi, or another song really pops off the same way that Greedy did on Think Later, I don't think this album's going to perform to people's expectations. And I do not say that to say that she's not a good artist and she doesn't deserve it. I think she really does deserve it. I just think that her music is a little too much like the 2000s or the early 2000s for people to resonate with it right now. Which is ironic because of all the 2000s nostalgia people are having lately. But I think because she kind of plays into that stereotypical feminine role, a lot of people are not really gravitating to her right now. They're gravitating towards other ideas of femininity. And I think within a couple of years, people will be like obsessed with her in the same degree that they've been with Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan, Olivia Rodrigo. Speaking of those artists, I don't really have much of a idea of what's going to happen to Chappell Roan this year. I do sense that she'll probably put out new music. I just don't know if it'll be an album per se. But Olivia Rodrigo, oh, she's definitely putting out an album this year. That is my gut telling me that. Wait. I feel it in my gut that Olivia Rodrigo will release a 3rd album this year. And yes, I used guts purposely. I love a good pun. But I think the big thing with Olivia Rodrigo this year is that this album is not going to be the same as her first 2 albums. I think this is where she'll actually take her visuals and take her aesthetic and switch it up a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I still think she'll lean into that more rock persona. I think that's just what she does. But I think aesthetically there's going to be a shift. I think that there has to be something to really get people talking. And it could be as simple as changing the background color of the album from purple to blue. I don't know. But there has to be something that shifts there. That's just my thought and take on it. Who else do I think is releasing an album this year? Demi Lovato. Let's be honest, she kind of has a track record for releasing albums within a 18-month period, especially since her relapse. So I do believe that she will release a new album this year. I think that it will still be very rock, but leaning more into pop, similar to her second album, Here We Go Again. Now, it will be a more mature version, and I think it'll be very much tied to her experiences with her now fiance. I don't think they'll get married this year. But I do think that Benny Blanco and Selena Gomez will. Why am I saying that? Well, a couple days before I filmed this video, they announced that they're putting out an album together, which is kind of crazy that you're doing the album together before you actually do the contract to put your finances together, you know, the marriage and all that, but, you know, that's just, I don't know. I think given everything going on with Emilia Perez, which I just learned about everything of that movie, my God, that is a whole freaking can of worms I don't even know if I can open up. Man to woman, woman to man? No, I am all for camp. That was not it. On top of the lead actress's tweets and the undeserved awards, like, honestly, she's got a lot to kind of recover from. The strategy that would make the most sense is for her to share her wedding footage after the album comes out in a music video. That's what I think is going to happen. I think that knowing how Selena chooses to share certain things and how she's been more open about this relationship than any others since you know who, I think it would make the most sense that she would want to let in her fans on such a big milestone in life, but doing it in a way where she can entertain her fans and do it in a way where she's also able to make some money off of it. Like, I just think that that would be something she would consider doing. Moving on to artists who I think will not be putting out new music this year. I do not think that Sabrina Carpenter will release a new album this year. Why do I say this? Well, for one, she just released the extended version of her most recent album, but also I think because of the high that she's on career-wise, she's going to basically play into that a little bit more, do other sorts of things, and like, I just get this gut feeling that she will probably work on a movie project or something and then release an album. My timeline for her is more so, like, if it is this year, it's gonna be like September at the earliest that she releases new music, and next February is probably where I'm guessing she will release new music. Given her time frame for other musical projects, it just makes the most sense to me that she would wait that period out. I also think that Miley Cyrus will not be releasing any new music this year, but I do think that'll be because of the family drama that's been going on. If you don't know what's going on with that, Trey Cyrus, her brother, and I forget if he's what band he's the lead of, but he was the lead of a band. He is famous in his own right. He put out a public statement to their dad, and given everything going on there, I think that'll kind of be the focus of this year. I feel like Miley will definitely put out music. I just don't think it'll be an album. I also think that Camila Cabello will not be releasing any music this year because of the lack of success from her recent project. What she'll probably do is spend this year coming up with and creating the album, and then release it next year as like a kind of spring summer release to try to create that success of a summer bop album that her recent album really wasn't. I just think that she's not going to try and rush to put something out, and I don't think the label would want her to do that. So yeah, those are the artists I don't think are releasing albums this year. And now we get into some random predictions. Let's go. First of all, I think that Emmeline and Gracie Abrams are going to have a bit more of a pop-off this year. Gracie Abrams, if you don't know, She has a song that's very popular on TikTok, but I think there'll be another song that comes out this year that'll really catapult her into more of a mainstream artist. I also think, given everything that's been going on with Emmeline and her new independence as an artist, her releasing her version of Choose Your Fighter, which was initially released by JoJo Siwa but written by Emmeline, I just think that that's going to be a really big song for her, and I enjoy listening to Emmeline. I have multiple songs of hers on my Spotify playlist, so I really hope that she gets that big boost in terms of becoming more mainstream. We'll see if that happens, but I think that prediction's a little bit more of my hope than my actual prediction. I don't know, we'll see. I think both Shawn Mendes and Justin Bieber are gonna have some sort of crisis this year. I think for Justin, it's really gonna come from past trauma and triggers and things not really panning out as he planned. Meanwhile, I think for Shawn Mendes, he's going to realize just how much he was used in the last couple of years. I believe that Shawn Mendes was involved in high control groups, and I think he's going to be unpacking the trauma of that for a long time, and I think the kind of catalyst breaking point will happen for him this year. I do think that'll open him up to more music creation, but I don't necessarily think there'll be an album. I also don't think Justin Bieber's releasing any music. I think he's just gonna try and, live his life as best as he can this year, and I hope that for him actually, because everything he's been through that's been talked about a lot last year, if it's true, then I hope he's getting the help he needs. I think there'll be one new artist that really takes off this year that's gonna shock everybody. They're like, oh, who is this person? I don't know who this person is. I don't know who it'll be. If you have any guesses, let me know in the comments. My final prediction for 2025 in pop music is that we are gonna see a revolution in lyricism that brings attention to the political dumpster fire that is happening in the US and in a lot of places around the world. Songs like Mr. President from Pink, or Supertramp's The Logical Song, or Ohio. These songs have such a stark, grounded reality to them. And I think a lot of artists are going to use their power socially and with their music to finally say things that maybe they've been afraid to say. Some artists do this here and there with Macklemore, Kendrick Lamar, Demi Lovato over the last 5 years. I just think that this year in particular, we're gonna see it a lot more, and it's going to increase. And I hope that that happens, because for a lot of people, they are either too deep into the political sphere that it's causing them a mental health crisis, or they're too detached from it because they don't want to have a mental health crisis. And I understand. I've been on both ends of that spectrum in my life. So if artists can talk about things in a way where they're supporting people who are at risk, I think that can be really helpful to people. If any of my predictions are true, I truly hope it's that one, because artists have a platform that ought to be used for some good. On that note, that's it for my predictions. And I would love to hear what you think's gonna happen this year in pop music in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment below, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be notified whenever I upload. If you want more from me, including my poetry, check out my Patreon page. It'll be linked in the description below. You can join the YouTube membership and get early access to my videos. And finally, if you can't make any of my market days, but you want a one-on-one reading with me, I am now offering tarot readings via Zoom, and all you have to do is send me an email, which you will find my email address in the description below. Now, I gotta go because I'm attempting to dye a shirt that I ruined in the wash. It's a long story, and I will see you all with another video here very soon. Bye!